Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Lily Reads. Okay, so in today's video, it is an end of summer wrap up. I said in my last vlog that I put up, I wanted to give you guys an end of summer wrap up. I kind of made my own questions to ask myself about my end of summer reading. So if I turn this a little bit, these are the books that I read this summer. I went on Goodreads and it's looking like I read about 43, 44 books this summer. And you know what? If I had to describe my summer overall in reading, I would say there was some gold in the middle of some mud. There was gold in the middle of rocks and dust and gravel and mud. We had some gold. I read some good books this summer, but I also read some duds. But I will say none of the duds that I read this summer were so offensive to my life. I just couldn't fathom anyone liking this book. Not really. There was none of that. So I will give myself that. So I asked myself some questions and we're going to get into it. So starting off, I said, how many books did I read this summer? I read 44 books this summer. Now, do I think that's a good amount, a little amount? Do I want to read more next summer, less next summer? I hope I read less next summer. And the thing is, I don't have a job. I do not have a job. I wake up every single day. I make my morning coffee. I answer a couple emails and I immediately start reading. I turn on a TV show that I like and I watch the TV show and I read at the same time. I'm in and out. I always watch a TV show that either is mindless or I've already seen. And I read all day. So it's really easy for me to read. But I also didn't go anywhere this summer. I did not go on any vacations this summer. I didn't do much this summer. So hopefully next summer I have more to do. And so I don't wake up every single day and read. I have other things to do. Some people wake up and they surf TikTok. I don't get on TikTok. I wake up every day and I pick up a book. Or I read news articles. I love to read a celebrity interview. That's what I do every single morning. I wake up and I read my stories. So hopefully next summer I can get a life. And I read less books. But having no life, how do I feel about my reading? It was fine. 44 books is solid. It's solid. I feel fine about my number. It's a good number, but whatever. So we're gonna go into best and worst book I read this summer. Like I said, I'm going to do this with you guys. We're going to pick the best and worst book this summer. Let's go into best. There are a few books I gave 5 stars, so let's find our 5-star reads. We have Comfort Me with Apples. I definitely gave 5 stars. We have I Want to Be Where You Are. I gave 5 stars. Didn't give you Confessions of an Alleged Good Girl. We definitely gave 5 stars. Didn't give you guys either. Sorrow and Bliss. We definitely gave 5 stars. Didn't give you Wash Day Diaries. We gave 5 stars. Didn't give you American Royals. We definitely gave 5 stars. And the Dating Playbook, we gave 5 stars. I think that's the only. Okay, we have one more. We have 2 more. Oh my gosh, we have 2 books. I gave 5 stars. Ooh, okay, maybe I spoke wrong. Maybe we did have a good reading summer. I'm still pulling out 5-star reads. Instructions to Dancing, I gave 5 stars. And then last but not least, The Wife Between Us, I gave 5 stars. So let's really discuss this. Oh, this makes me excited. This makes me so excited. We have way more 5-star books than I remember. Okay. So if I turn all of these around, this is our pow. We gave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We gave 9 books 5 stars. Okay. Whoa. I mean, 9 out of 44 ain't that great. But like 9 books 5 stars. This is more books than I think I gave 5 stars all year. So like the other 2 seasons, like winter and spring, I did not give this many 5 stars. Okay, so let me go through what we did. The Wife Between Us. I do not believe The Wife Between Us is the best book that I read this summer. Instructions for Dancing is a solid pick for best book, but it's just not. I know it's not. But I really love this book. I did. The Dating Playbook. Love this book. Love this book. Is it the best book I read this summer? Maybe, but like we'll put it in the maybe pile. American Royals is definitely the most fun book I read this summer, but it's not the best book I read this summer. Wash Day Diaries, I loved and adored, but like I can't name a graphic novel the best book I read this summer. Sorrow and Bliss could be the best book I read this summer. Confessions of an Alleged Good Girl could be the best book I read this summer. I Want to Be Where You Are is YA, and so is this, and I like this a little bit better than this. And then Comfort Me with Apples, I absolutely adored, but it's not the best book I read this summer. So we're between these 3 as the best books I read this summer. And I am going to say The Dating Playbook is not going to go here. It's between these 2. I genuinely don't want to pick. These are top 5 books I read this year. I love them so much, but I'm going to say Confessions of an Alleged Good Girl is the best book I read this summer. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it with my chest, and I'm going to mean it. Okay, the worst book I read this summer. We won't have to go through everything. What do I believe is the worst book I read this summer? The worst book I read this summer. There's some options. There's some options here for us. We have 4 Aunties and a Wedding. We have The Lifeguards. We have The Lifeguards. We have Hide. We have, what else do we have? We have Luster. I did not like Luster. We have Eileen. I didn't like, but I don't think I'm going to put those in the worst books I read this summer. We have This Summer I Turned Pretty. I didn't like. We have Fake It Till You Bake It. I didn't like. We have The Club. I didn't like. And we have Wait For It that I didn't like. I'm going to tell you my top 3. My top 3 that I think are the worst books I read this summer. These are top 4. I'll tell you top 4. Wait For It. The Lifeguards. Hide. And 4 Aunties and a Wedding. I am going to say the worst book I read this summer. This is kind of hard. I want to say the book I gave the lowest is The Lifeguards, but I don't think The Lifeguards is the worst book I like. I didn't like this book at all, and I gave it 1 star because this is the worst book I read this summer. I'm gonna say it. Yes, I'm gonna just come out. The Lifeguards is the worst book I read this summer. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. The Lifeguards is the worst book I read this summer, but I deeply want to put Wait For It there as well. But worst books I read this summer are these 4. Okay, let's continue. I'm already making a mess. I literally just organized my bookshelves and now they're back to looking absolutely atrocious. What can you do? Okay, the most surprising book that I read this summer. The most surprising book. The book that surprised me the most in the best way possible. The most surprising book that I read this summer would have to be, I'm going to just give you some options and you can decide where you go with this. Instructions for Dancing is probably, actually no, I'm going to leave it there. The most surprising book I read this summer is Instruction for Dancing or The Layover. So the two most surprising books that I read this summer would go to these two books, The Layover and Instructions for Dancing. Both of I adored The Layover. This is one of my favorite romance books I read this year, and I didn't expect it, and I cried at the end of Instructions for Dancing, and I literally thought this was just going to be a fun time sitting on my couch reading a nice little black YA romance, and like they just tore me up. And so like I just think to be surprised, to read a book and be pleasantly surprised, these two books surprised me this summer. Let's move on. The most disappointing book. So the most disappointing book is not like the worst book that I read this summer, because like that's just the worst, but the most disappointing, the book that you had a lot riding on and it just didn't quite meet your expectations. What do I want to say that book is? The most disappointing. The most disappointing book I read this summer is Luster. Luster is the most disappointing book because I really thought I was going to go in and really enjoy Luster, and I didn't. So Luster is definitely the most disappointing book that I read this summer. Okay, what's next? Most likely to reread. Most likely to reread will go to Sorrow and Bliss. I am going to reread Sorrow and Bliss. I don't know if I'll have enough time to reread it by the end of this year, but I will be rereading Sorrow and Bliss. I cannot wait to read this book again. The next thing is most likely to unhaul. So there are plenty of books sitting here that I am going to unhaul, but if someone was like, Kenya, you can only give one up, one of them has to go. Like, which one of you? We'll only take one. We'll only take one. Which book do I want in my collection the least? Most likely to unhaul. That's really interesting. That's really hard too. What book am I just like, you can take? You can take. See, I could say The Lifeguards because it's the worst book, but like, at least I think this cover is kind of cute. Wait for it. Wait for it is definitely most likely to unhaul. Like, this book, like, it doesn't serve me anything. It's paperback. The cover is fine. Like, most likely to unhaul. Wait for it. Also, Four Aunties and a Wedding. Four Aunties and a Wedding is another most likely to unhaul. You will see those in my unhauls at the end of the year. Book I regret buying the most. Unfortunately, The Lifeguards ends up here because I have seen this book on sale. I know it's going to continue to go on sale, and I paid full price for this book. So like I regret buying this book the most. I feel like I put this book in a lot of stuff. So what's another book I regret buying? Greenwich Park. I didn't need to buy this book. It's in hardcover. Like, a big regret buy. Anything else I regret buying? Everything else I think I can justify. Like, it's fine that I bought them, but like, those are my big regret buying. Best cover. What book has the best cover? So we have a few options for best cover. We do. Also, most disappointing. Only on the Weekends could also be in my most disappointing books of the year if I was really. So best cover. Best cover really goes to two books. Two books can take best cover, I think. And it is Hyde and the Club. I will always talk about how much I love these covers. That's the sole reason why neither of these books are going to get unhauled, because I just love, there's just some, y'all, I have a huge book collection. Like, I collect books. Like, so like, just because I don't like a book don't necessarily mean I'm going to unhaul it. Like, there's certain reasons why I like to have certain books. Sometimes it's just to complete a collection. Sometimes it's just to, there's all types of reasons. Or I know I'm going to like reference the book a lot in videos, so I'm like, I should keep this book. But like, these are 100% going to stay in my collection for the covers. I will be 50 years old and I will still want to look at these covers. So these two are the best covers of the summer. But if I had to choose which one I like over the other, Hide. Hide is so pretty. Y'all know I love yellow. Maybe if you don't like yellow as much as I do, you won't appreciate this. And the thing is, what I appreciate about this cover is I hate the color red. I hate the color red. But like, this is doing something to me. Now I'm wondering, in my infatuation with the color yellow, like, am I missing out on a color combo that I like? You know, by like the Lily Reed's brand, my room, pink and yellow is like my brand. Even like a pink and a like lavender, like that's my brand. But like, ooh, this yellow and red is really doing something for me. But yeah, best cover. What's next one? Worst cover. What do I believe is the worst cover of all that? This is a messy question. The worst cover, a lot of people would say The Roommate is the worst cover. I like this cover. I like the people on the cover. I really like this cover. That's actually another reason why I probably wouldn't unhaul this book. I like this cover. I think this cover is cute. So nope, if you're wondering why it's not that, I do hate this cover. This cover is not great. I do like the way this is bound. It like feels good. Like it feels like a nice sturdy book. But this cover, like, it's not doing anything for me. It's not doing anything for me. So like, this cover is bizarre. What else is a cover I don't like? A cover that I don't like? I think that's it. I don't like the color combo of The Wife Between Us. So like that could be, that's something. What else? I'm trying to, before I give this worst cover, I'm trying to see, do I like, oh, know what? You want to know what the worst cover is? Finley Donovan. This is the worst cover. I'm sorry. I hate this. I hate this. Finley Donovan is Killing 'Em cover. Excellent. I think it's done to a T. This looks bad. This is just bad. Looks like it was done on Canva. Like, this is just not, this is not a good cover. This is not a good cover. I don't even know what she's hiding behind. I'm assuming a wall. Like, it's just not good. It has too much stuff on the front. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Okay, I think we're almost done with my questions. What's next? Author I will read again from. So like, of all of these, if I could only read from one author again, who am I most likely to want to read another book from? I want to say Meg Mason for Sorrow and Bliss. I just don't see her writing another book and me not reading it. But also Joy Goffney, I cannot imagine. So I'm going to just cheat and do two. Cheat and do two. These are the two authors I am 100% going to read another book from. Like, I'm obsessed with them. I'm obsessed with these books. I'm obsessed with them. Author I don't want to read from again. This is a Messy Boots one, but I'm just going to choose Jessie. Jessie Q. Sutanto, I will probably not read another book from again because we have striked out twice. Like, 2 books, didn't like them, I'm good. Anyways, those are the books that I read this summer. It's a mess now, and I had to go put them back on my bookshelf. Down below, tell me about your reading summer. Tell me about the best book and worst book that you read this summer, because I want recommendations. Then I need to know what to steer clear from. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.